Hi, my beautiful souls. I hope your day is going good. I am starting this new series and I changed it from Rose check-ins to the 7 levels of being human. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous. To all of those people that are joining, that are new, I want to welcome you. I'm normally not this nervous, but I do these videos in one take. I just talk from my heart to the camera, so whatever mistakes I make, I take those too, and whatever I'm supposed to say, I say, and whatever I leave out, I'm supposed to leave out. Today, I wanted to talk about my spiritual experience that happened last year, March 23rd of 2023. If you've watched previous videos, I do reference a lot to those videos. So if you find yourself wondering, what the reference is, I definitely would go back and look at my previous videos. But I told my story in the self-care video how I was close to suicide, not making any plans, but being laid up for 11 years, I was just so tired. So deeply tired. And a voice came to me and said, just 24 hours, Jen. And I said in that video, it's like, I didn't care who it was, but somebody other than myself was trying to help me out. So I was listening, and I'm here today. But my second rock bottom happened with another spiritual experience. I have been a spiritual person most of my life, but I don't think I really took it seriously until I was laid up. I think when you are suffering that deeply, you just want answers. Like, why, And one of the things that came to me is, why not? Would you give it to somebody else? So I was doing every positive thinking to get through that process. So anybody that's suffering out there, I understand. So going back to March of 23, the voice came in again, but this time somebody else heard it. Now I can't confirm any of this information because, quite frankly, I haven't checked on it. But all I know is this is not me telling you what to believe or not to believe. This isn't about a religious context. This is about a human having a spiritual experience and getting something out of it that she wants to share with the world. And for those of you still listening, maybe you need to hear what I have to say. So the voice came through and I was completely shocked. I was like, cloud nine. Wow, look at what this was happening. But for my family, that was not the case. I had this experience and they had their experience. So that's the reason I don't talk about it enough or talk about it at all, which can be a lonely process. I did have one friend that I did talk to when I was in the clink, and she believed me. She comes from a culture that these spiritual experiences aren't looked at as, check, you're crazy. And I know crazy because that happened to me too, but I'm now aware that this voice came through. I'm having this experience. I'm seeing things that, quite frankly, are unbelievable. I mean, I have to tell you that if anyone out there does not believe that there is something far more intelligent that cares about you, I'm here, if you believe me, to say that there is. Even in the realm of science, you can see how amazing it is, all the way down to the cells in a fingertip. Something is highly intelligent. And whatever you call that, God, universe, light source, whatever it is, that's not my place to tell you what to believe or what not to believe. My journey is just telling my story. So I'm not going to go through all of what happened to me, because that was 9 days and that's a lot of stuff. What I want to talk to you about today is, if you watch my last video about what's happening post, in that video I talk about that Jennifer, got unplugged. The psychogenic episode was like a glitch, and the psychosis was more like the computer got unplugged. So that's what I want to share with all of you, is that part of my spiritual experience story. So we're in this spiritual experience. I'm seeing all of this stuff. I'm in it and can't believe what I'm seeing. And all of a sudden, I see an event happen in front of me, and my mind starts to, I think what you would call it is like back away, like almost like you're going into the back of your car. A lot of people talk about that, like with multiple personalities, or if they're channeling or whatever it is, but I'm just telling you what the experience felt like for me. And something else felt like it got in front of the car and started driving. And I was in one place, and then I was 45 minutes in another town. And the stuff that happened in that town was like, if you watch the Matrix movie, when Neo goes and takes the red pill, and then the guy on the ship says, don't you wish you took the blue pill? That was kind of like my experience in that point. Like, can I back away now? Like, this stuff is, whoa, I want to see the cool parts, but this part is really scary. And so I was driving, and probably going 20 or 30 miles per hour, my vehicle slams into a snowplow. And I want to say that I deeply, deeply regret ever getting in the vehicle at all. Obviously, I was not in the right mind, but I'm glad that no one got hurt. So I get hit, and I walk away with nothing. Not a scratch on me. I get out of the car. I start, as you can imagine, sprouting nonsense. Jennifer, the computer is now unplugged. I got arrested. This is the first time with the handcuffs. I told the story, my story of the second time I got handcuffed, but this was the first time. I got cuffed, thrown in back of an ambulance, fell on the floor of the ambulance. And I was lost. I was so lost. Kind of like I was talking to you before about the first time back in 2013 in my bedroom, where I just didn't feel like the will to live. This was another moment like that for me, is that I got to the hospital, obviously doing a psych eval. No one believed my story. I can imagine why nobody would believe me. Like I was saying in my story, somebody told me that they saw a Yeti, and I was like, really? Even after my experience. So, I mean, we're born with skepticism. We're born with fear. It's kind of ingrained in us. So I'm sitting there in the hospital bed and not wanting to be there anymore, not wanting to be part of this experience. I don't feel in control of myself. And the scary part is that I know all of this that happened to me happened for a reason. We are meant, and this is the part that I want to talk about with everybody. 2 things came out of that spiritual experience. I have during the spiritual experience, and then after I left the Looter house when I got back home. And one of the truths that I got from the spiritual experience is that our purpose on this world, why we were born, is to heal ourselves. Like even me doing this, I'm not out to save the world. I'm out to help one person, you. When you change one person to heal themselves, you not only do you heal them, you heal the environment that they're in. You heal every single person that comes in contact with them. And you could imagine if we're one small pebble in a big pond and we throw it out, can you imagine if there was 1 million pebbles of healed individuals thrown into a lake, how big the wave would be? So the second thing, the teaching that I got was we have 7 levels of being a human. These are roles that are within us that happen simultaneously. And if you've watched my previous videos, like I was talking about in my What's Happening post, those 7 levels are tied with self-responsibility, why we heal, the 5 habits, gratitude, self-care, support, honesty. I know I'm missing one. Gratitude, self-care, grounding, support and honesty, self-responsibility, and why we heal. And those all tie in to the 7 levels of being a human. Roles that we play within ourselves. I'm going to do my self-care. The first step in unlocking all these different levels is us making an absolute priority of being number 1 in our life. By taking the I Am pledge, you are devoted to making yourself a priority. And the next level, the very first one, is that we're human. That is the first level of being a human, is being human. And that is a lesson that we're doing today. What it is to be human. And the first factor of being human is that love is always the answer. Number 1, love yourself. Number 2, love everyone around you. Even on your bad days, no one deserves to also have a bad day because you're having one. Number 2, that we're human and we make mistakes. I call this whole journey, the almost 50 years that I've lived on my life, is the gift of my mistakes. I have hindsight. Oh, I wish I would have done this, wish I would have done that. I'm giving you my gifts of all my mistakes, so maybe you can change your world through my advice, through my love, and through my support. And the third factor is self-accountability. Self-accountability. We are only in control, like I said in the grounding video, of ourselves. We only control ourselves. We only control now, and we are the only ones with the ability to change ourselves, is us. So you have what it is to be human, 100% accountability with you. You are 100% your success, or you are 100% your failure. I know last year when I was in therapy, I was saying, no, it's my parents' fault. It's my childhood trauma. It's people didn't love me. People didn't see me, hear me, validate me, support me. But she brilliantly said, so where does that leave you? If I place blame on all of those people, all those situations I was in, where does it get me? Nowhere. I have to be in charge of myself and myself alone. That's number one. Number two is you have to have radical acceptance of your life. I talked a lot about observational gratitude, observational honesty. This is self-accountability. You need to see your life as it is. No positive thinking. This is real work to see your life as it is. But I can guarantee you, when you start seeing your life as it is, then guess what you can do with it? You have the ability to change it. Number three, the only person that you can control to change your life is you. Because guess what? We only have one life right now. And as I've explained, I've already had twice now where I didn't want to live. But somebody higher than myself thought I was worthy enough to bring all of this message to you. But he said first, and I'll say he because I grew up a Catholic, but he said first, you need to fix yourself. How are you going to teach anyone unless you have the ability to change? You have the ability to accept all of your faults. You have the ability to look at somebody and say, I'm sorry. You have the ability for forgiveness. I wear this ring of my mom's. I got it after she died because when she was living in Duluth, I would take my parents out on little drives. And I saw that her ring was starting to fall apart. And I said, well, Mom, your ring's going to fall apart. She's like, well, I can't afford to fix it. So I said, no, let me go fix it. So I went ahead and fixed it, and it looked all nice. And she says, well, when I pass away, I want to give you this ring. It's yours. So when she passed away in December, I was given this ring. And as I said in my story, the day I forgave my parents for what happened to me, she passed away. But I was very grateful for that, because before she passed away, I found forgiveness. So I wear this ring as a sign to forgive. And the one thing that I did learn in that experience was that when I forgave my mom, I was able to forgive me. I made mistakes with my kids. I thought I was doing so much different than my mom did. But because I didn't work on old crap. I ended up doing the same thing my mom did to me, I did to my kids. And I can say now that my kids respect me now. And I didn't ask them to change. I changed because I accepted 100% responsibility. I saw the situation as it is, and I changed. I want to thank all of you for the ones that made it till the end. Thank you for hearing my story. I have some homework for you. I need you to start with making yourself the priority. So I went to Young Garden Center in Sun Prairie, and I got me a little plant. And I know a lot of people are like, I'm not a green thumb. This plant is special because this plant represents you. This plant represents, if you can take care of this little teeny plant, then you're taking better care of yourself. So you nurture it, you water it. And this one, I'm told, only needs little droplets every 2 to 3 days. So the maintenance is easy to start with. We are all a plant. If you heard that plant theory of they put 2 plants in 2 separate rooms, and they put one plant in a room where somebody talked horrible to it, and it just the most nasty stuff coming out of everyone's mouth and bad vibes. And then they had the plant that was in nurturing and loving and wonderful environment. And you can imagine the plant that did really well in the love category. Because as we know, to be human, the first level is that love is always the answer. I want to thank you, beautiful souls, for everyone that watched this. I look forward to the next level, which will be talking about a healer in all of us. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. See you next week. Bye.